Hello everybody and welcome back to another My Porch Prints video. Today we are going to be covering a question that we see a lot from our fans and viewers and all of our comment sections, which is what should we include in a junk journal? So if you're looking for ideas of things to add to your junk journals, we have actually made a pamphlet for you which lists out a bunch of different ideas, and this pamphlet is going to be available for free on our website, so I will have a link for that in the description box down below if you are interested. But for today's video, we are just going to be going through it section by section and sort of showing you some examples of what you could include in a journal. So if you are interested in trying to get some new ideas, let's start. All right, we are going to begin with created items. So created items are anything that you create that you can put in your junk journal. So we can start with folios and folders, which look like these. We have several folios, like kits in our shop. So if you would be interested in making a folio that way, it comes with everything you need to do so. So make sure that you check that out if you're interested. But you could also decorate like your own files or folders with multiple kits like this. And these are sort of fun to just add to pockets or sew into your journal, like into a signature, something like that. All right, next we have tags. Tags come with a lot of our kits. They can be as decorative or simple as you'd like. So these are a good add-on to your kit as well. Artwork, that's something you can make. It can also be as decorative or simple as you'd like, just something fun and personal. And if you want to add writing, if you don't have good handwriting like me, you could print something out from one of our kits. We have several writing kits, or you could use some sort of a stamp, torn pieces of writing, anything like that. We also have loaded tags. We have these available in our shop. Of course, you can make them on your own. It's just a tag full of lots of ephemera and things like that. Envelopes are a really good addition. I recently did a project where I showed you how to make a mini journal using 2 envelopes. So envelopes can be used in a variety of ways. Also fun for your journal. Pockets, one of the essential things that we use in all of our journals. You can use, 3D pockets, layered pockets, corner pockets, things like that. If you've watched any of our tutorials before, you'll notice that we use a lot of pockets in our journal. So make sure that you pick up some of these. They come with all of our kits. Sometimes a transparent pocket like this one I actually made out of an old CD case. Something like that is a cool addition. We do also have vertical side pockets that you make, which is basically just a pocket that goes along the page vertically like this. Sometimes I layer like torn pieces of paper, or I've used ribbons like sewn onto the edge before to make a vertical tuck space. All right, so next we have hidden pockets. This is really fun. One of our hidden pockets went kind of viral on Instagram, so you may have seen it. If not, I have a tutorial on how to do this, so make sure that you check that out if you are interested. All right, next we have flips and tip-ins. So flips are just anything that flip. Like we have this layered flip made out of envelopes here that my sister did for Valentine's Day project. We also have this faded photo waterfall flip. And I also do tip-ins, which are just like envelopes or little ephemera pieces that sort of fold over the edge of your page and flip in and out of your journal. All right, next we have paper clips or hidden paper clips. This is an example of a hidden paper clip, which we do have a tutorial for, and it's just a paper clip where you can't see it because it's hidden by art and it just clips onto your pages or ephemera like that. You can also decorate your paper clips with charms, ribbon, little things like that. You can see I did that here. I made these little paper clip charms. Again, we do have this project on our channel if you are interested in making it. And paper clips can be as small or as large as you want. Like this entire piece is actually a paper clip that you can clip into your journal. All right, next we have page tabs, another essential item for our journal. I like to use these on top of my pages as well as the side of my pages. I use them on tags that just make the tags a little bit easier to sort of grab and pull out of pockets. So a lot of our kits come with these if you are interested. Next we have bookmarks. Bookmarks can be made out of anything. We do have several kits that include bookmarks and you can leave them plain or decorate them. Or maybe you're interested in something small and cute, like these little mini envelopes and mini ephemera pieces. We do have kits that are miniature. And if you like the miniature things, we also have mini books. So they come in several different sizes. You can kind of pick the one that you like. I've seen people make mini bookshelves with these and they sort of collect them. Or you could also put them on like a charm or a dangle and have them sort of hanging off of your journal, just sort of a really cute little addition. Especially if you like a certain kit that we have. A lot of times we have a matching mini book that goes with it, so you could have like the mini book charm that goes with the larger version of the book. So make sure you check those out. All right, next we have artist trading cards. So this is what it sounds like basically. Like if you join our Facebook group, you might be able to have a trade with another artist where you make a card and then you swap them with someone else who crafts, and then you can just use that card in your journal. Another thing to add would be notebooks. So several of our kits come with like a skinny notebook or these like little notebook pages, and these are good for adding some writing space to your journal. You could also use like lined paper to make like a full notebook, like a full-sized one, or just something really small with like scraps of paper like this, and it just adds something a little more interesting as a writing space other than just straight notebook paper in your journal. You can also make these fun little shakers. Here we made this one out of a CD case, and they just sort of add some movement and noise that can be kind of cute. We also have page bands, belly bands, whatever you want to call it, made out of paper or ribbon, and they just sort of go across your page and secure ephemera in place. All right, next up we have specimen cards. So we have a variety of specimen cards. This is just an example of one that you could make. We do have kits for this, so if you're curious, you can make those, find those on our Etsy shop. Another thing you could use is embroidery, whether you've done it yourself or maybe you've thrifted it. And these are just cute to add to pockets or to decorate a cover. They just add a little bit of texture to a cover and just make it look a little more homemade. And then there's also something like origami. We recently came out with this origami flower, and it just makes a little pocket where you could hide ephemera, and it's just kind of cute and decorative. All right, next up we have button closures. So a button closure is what it sounds like. You could either use paper buttons or real buttons sewn on, and basically they're just there to close up your folders, your files, your pockets, and they're just sort of like a fun little addition to your journal. Next up we have journal words. So most of our kits come with a small set of journal words, although you can buy larger sets of journal words from our shop as well if you are interested. Journal words, phrases, and they're just kind of nice to add to like page tabs or to decorate pockets or use them in collages. I think they just add a little something to your journal. All right, and along with journal words, there are labels. We actually have this kit of coffee dyed labels, and I use these a lot for my projects. I use them to decorate pockets and things like that, just to make them look a little less plain and just add a little bit more decoration. And next we have something that I just recently learned about, which are these writing boards. They're made out of cardboard, and basically you just decorate them, adding a clip, and they are used to give you like a hard surface to write on. So a lot of times when people make a journal, they might make like a matching like writing board to go with it. And it's just used to put behind pages to give you a hard surface to journal on. It's just kind of a cute and fun little side project to go with your journal. And if you are looking for more ways to decorate, you could always grab a stencil and some paint, or like here I'm using distress ink, and just add like a faded like stamp to your page to just add some more decoration. And then of course, last but not least for this section, we have pop-ups. We actually have a template for this pop-up that makes this super quick and easy to do. So definitely check that out if you're interested. I have a full tutorial on how to use it. But of course, you can always just make things have a little more dimension with like puff tape, or even like pinching them in half like this. And it doesn't have to be overly complicated to get a cool design. All right, moving on to the next section here, which is hardware. So we're going to cover this real quick, not all the hardware, but some of it, which would be starting off with label holders. So label holders are what they sound like basically. You find a label that you like, a word that you like, and you can just add these maybe to the spine or the cover of your journal. And you might hold them on with something like this, which is a brad, and I use brads for multiple things, sometimes just decorative or sometimes to add like a little bit of swivel to a project or a page or ephemera piece, something like that. Kind of fun for adding like little hidden spots in your journal. You may also want to pick up some eyelets, which are these little things here, and an eyelet punch, of course, as well. And together you can use these to add little like holes that are a little more secure than just punching a hole in your paper. It sort of reinforces that, so you can tie a ribbon through like a tag or something like that. Next, we have corners, which are a really cute, fun, and decorative item for your page. I like to add these sometimes to covers or pages just like this. And if you are looking for something to secure your journal, you might want to pick up a lock like this. There are multiple locks. We do have some of these linked. We have a lot of these items linked in our description box. We have like an entire article on our website about the different like hardware and project pieces we use. So if you're curious, you can always check that out. And it will include things such as hinge clips, hollow out clips, paper clips, clothespins, things like that you might want to add to your journal to like secure pieces on and add a little more texture. All right, next we have these bulb pins, which are a really quick and easy way to add things like charms or bows or ribbon to your journal like this. You could even do like an entire page decorated with them like I did here. I really enjoy using bulb pins. And then last but not least, we do have like keyholes and things like that, which can be fun for your journal. Now, I actually don't have any more of these left, so I just printed some off, and this is something that you can do. We have a tutorial on how to make hardware stickers using a Cricut, and honestly, they can look just as good as the real thing without adding so much bulk to your journal. So if you are interested in that, we do have a kit of faux hardware. So if you don't want to go out and buy the real thing, which can be kind of expensive, you could just print these off and use them on your journal as stickers or cut them out and glue them on, and without adding that bulk you get the same look. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to embellishments. These are one of my favorite parts of journals. So we are going to start with clusters. This is a project I did quite a long time ago where I made this cluster Valentine box. It was supposed to kind of look like a chocolate box. And clusters are just layers of like maybe little pieces of ephemera or decorative scraps that you have. And they're slightly different from a snippet, which is scraps done kind of in like a long flat line where you can sort of tear off pieces and use them to decorate your journal. So cluster snippets, that's a really fun way to get rid of scraps. All right, next we have dangles, which we've already kind of seen here. You can make dangles with paper clips, bulb pins, charms, just anything you want. Add a little bit of movement to a journal. And of course, if you are making these, picking up some charms is not a bad idea. You can usually find these at a craft store. All right, next we are going to move on to die cuts. So these are of course optional, but they are a fun way to add just a little bit more decoration to your journal. They're basically just cute cutouts from cardboard. Also fun for decorating are buttons. Now you can buy these at a craft store or any store where buttons are sold, but if you go look at like a thrift store, sometimes you'll find like these jars of buttons. I'm not really sure where they come from or who's making them, but they're really great. So make sure that you check your thrift store if you're looking for buttons, and you can sew them on, glue them on, layer them, and they're just really fun and a nice way to add some like cutesy decoration to your journal. All right, next we have lace. So you can actually get scraps of lace from like a thrift store. You can buy ribbons of lace. You can pick up lace appliques or lace ribbon. We use a lot of lace in our journals. I like to use them to like decorate the pages, like the edges of the pages especially, but you can use them like scraps of them to decorate a cover if you'd like to do that, decorate a pocket. Anything you can really think of, so it's just nice to have on hand. I also have a tutorial for a lace window, which is sort of fun if you're interested in that. Make sure you check that out. All right, and moving on, we have fabrics. So like for this journal, I actually bought fabric specifically for this soft cover, but if you want to, you can make like a journal made out of scrap fabric that you find at a thrift store, cutting up old t-shirts, pillows, blankets, things like that. Anything you want really. And fabric covers, you can like layer them up. You can use them for pockets, you can use them to decorate the edges, and it just adds some nice texture and color to a journal. All right, and of course, the thing that I probably spend the most money on when I go to a craft store are ribbons. I just can't help it. I just want to buy all the ribbons. And ribbons come in a variety of colors and styles, widths, types of fabric. You can get sari silk ribbon, you can get woven ribbon, you can get ribbon that's been stamped or printed on. If you go to like Etsy, you might find something like that. So, you know, if you find something you like, don't be afraid to also buy it in all the colors, because you will use it up when you are junk journaling. Alright, so next we have something maybe unconventional. You might be able to turn to things from nature like feathers. This journal from Pat Winter, she used it to make a pocket. And sometimes we also use like dried flowers, which you can buy online if you don't want to make them yourself. But dried flowers sometimes can like crinkle and break and get a little messy. So we also have faux fake flowers in our shop. You can buy them as fussy cuts, so check that out if you would like. And then of course you can always decorate with stickers, or you can make your own if you don't want to buy them. We sell fussy cuts in our shop and we have tutorials on how to make them into stickers, so if you'd like to, go ahead and check that out. And then next up we have fabric flowers. So you can buy like rolls of these like fabric flowers at a fabric store or online, or you can buy like these little like satin flowers. Also bought those online, or you can get like paper flowers that come in a variety of styles and colors. And these are just cute for decorating your journal overall with something sort of feminine and florally. And then we also have these cabochons, are what they're called. So you might get glass or plastic ones, and they come with like this base that they can sort of fit into to make like a charm, a decorative charm for your journal. And all you have to do is like cut out an image from a piece of paper and then place it in the cabochon and glue it down, and it'll just look something like this. Or of course you could just use that plastic or glass part on its own and use it to add just a little bit of dimension and interesting, you know, aspect to your journal. And then last but not least for this section, we have jewelry. So of course you can use, maybe if you have like a broken bracelet, you can pull the beads off of that and reuse those. If you have like old brooches or chains, things like that, you could thrift them or buy them. I actually used this bracelet here to make like a little dangling charm off of my book. All right, next up we have an absolute essential to your journal, the backbone of every journal, which would be papers and ephemera. So papers and ephemera are something that we sell in our Etsy shop. We have lots of kits to get you started if you are new to journaling, or if you're looking for new beautiful papers to use. That is what we specialize in, and we always appreciate everyone supporting our business. So make sure that you go over to Etsy and check that out if you are interested. But of course, having regular ephemera that you pull from other sources are a great addition to your journal as well. And then there are also things like envelopes that you can use in your journal. You can use envelopes that you buy or junk mail to just make random projects. Or if you don't want to decorate them, we do have kits that include already decorative envelopes. Next, you might want to take a look at doilies. I use these to sort of decorate backgrounds, little ephemera pieces, just sort of add. I use them a lot in my Christmas journal. Something about them just makes me think of Christmas. I don't know what it is. But you can also sew them into your journal as like an extra signature piece. Just add something a little bit, you know, a little cute and additive to your journal besides just pages and papers. All right, you can also include photos in your journal if you'd like, tuck them into envelopes or pockets. We also have these faded photos that we sell in our shop, and I've used these to like make little, you know, foldable photo flips, or you might even use them for like a flip where you can add more writing space like this. All right, and then we have tickets. So I don't actually have any tickets, like real ones, so I use the ones that come from our kits, and I can just put these in a pocket to like fill things and make it decorative, or you could also like use them to craft. Like here I'm folding it in half and adding a paper clip, and then it just becomes like a little paper clip you can add to a page, just like that. And then, of course, something that I use a lot of are fussy cuts. So we have tons of different fussy cuts in our shop, so if you're looking for those, definitely check that out. We have a million fussy cuts, and you can use them in collages, you can use them to decorate pockets, pages, to make charms, to make snippet rolls, to make pop-ups. Fussy cuts are, I would say, probably the next essential item for a journal besides pages and papers if you are looking to begin crafting. All right, the next thing you might find in a journal are book pages. So sometimes people fold these in half and sew them in. Sometimes you use them to make pockets or to decorate. They're just kind of a fun little addition. Authentic book pages, though, can be kind of delicate, so you want to be careful with that. And also, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but sometimes I feel anxious like tearing books apart. So I like to use the faux book pages from our shops more often than not. So you don't actually have to destroy any books for these. You can just print them out and use them the exact same way. And we also have like faux coffee dyed papers and notebook pages and script pages, so anything you're looking for, you can find that in our shop. And they just make like a really fun addition to your journal without having to do too much decorating. Like this one, I didn't really add too much to the inside at all, but it still feels finished, so definitely make sure you pick those up if you are interested. And of course we have things like library cards. If you have authentic ones, you can use that. We also have the ones that come in our kits. Recipe cards, we have mini ones, we have blank ones, we have ones that are all like look already written, you know, on and used as like an ephemera piece. And you can always decorate these and add like lace, ribbon, tabs, things like that to them. They don't have to just be standalone. And then of course we have cards, so cards can be as simple or as decorative as you want. I made these ones for Christmas this last year, and I did a tutorial on that if you are curious and like to see that. And if you have something like guest checks or receipts or things like that, you can always use that in your journal. I tend to use the ones from our shop because I don't always keep those things around on me. So you can use whatever you'd like, but they just kind of add like a cute addition, something that people can find in your journal, and it just makes it seem a little more authentic and, you know, junky. All right, you can do the same thing with like old sheet music if you have that. We have some printouts in our shop, but you can use them as pages or pockets. And maybe you're looking for something a little more interesting as a pocket, you might want to check out vellum. So vellum is like this hazy sort of paper that you can use in your project, and it just adds sort of like a foggy texture to a paper or a pocket, and that way you don't have to like hide so much of your ephemera. If you want to show a little bit, vellum is a good way to do that. It's also good for like frosted backgrounds on like specimen cards or things like that. So all you do is you print out your images on the vellum, and you can use them just like that. All right, some quick additions here. You could use graph paper, seed pockets, seed packs. You can use maps if you have those on hand, or you can print some out. CD envelopes are always a fun addition, as well as calendars. We actually have a full journal that has calendars. We have several journals with calendars in them. So if you're looking for that, make sure you check those out. And then as you can see in this example journal here, it doesn't take a lot to make a journal look done. You could just use papers and ephemera and it still looks complete. All right, now for the next section, art and media supplies. So I don't use these as often. I would actually like to delve into this a little more this year. So one of the essentials that I do use on occasion would be paints. So you might use these to like dye your papers or paint an image. You might use them with stencils, something like that. And then there's gesso, which you might want to use to prime a surface for painting, or you can also use it as a light texture paste. And then there's also washi tape, which, remember, it's more decorative than anything. It doesn't hold very well, so just keep that in mind. And then sometimes I also use wax seals. I just think that they're really pretty and a nice addition to your journal, kind of adds like an old world feel to it, you know? But if you don't want to like play with actual fire and wax, you could just buy like wax seal stickers like these, which make it kind of quick and simple without having any danger involved. And then we also have a cheesecloth that we use a lot to just give like a nice distressed look to our journal. We just sort of glue it behind labels and like cuts and things like that. And of course, if you are looking for some stamps, we bought some of these online. You can just find stamps. They're like rubber stamps that we use with our distress ink. And you can also get like letters to stamp and things like that. Like if you have bad handwriting, like I actually tend to cheat a lot and use this like script stamp that we found online. So stamps are kind of nice for things like that. And of course you can't use stamps without ink, so picking up some distress ink, these are like my 3 favorites, which are vintage photo, aged mahogany, and antique linen. Alright, so that is going to complete today's video. I hope you found some inspiration for things to include in your junk journal. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you pick up that pamphlet, and we will see you in the next tutorial. Bye!